Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Game, and it's Sylvie Mountain Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you on a Let's Play episode of Kingsguard, Koshiro's Path. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Hyosuke. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name. Someone in the comments mentioned that, and I don't know why I kept thinking Hyosuke, because that is not how Japanese names work. So, it would be more along the lines of that one. I feel so stupid saying Hyosuke. Hyosuke. It's almost as if they were never expecting you to get into a true fight. You do not move like one who aims to strike a fatal blow. No, it's almost as though you were doing it for mere sport. Like he almost doesn't want you to defend yourself. Am I wrong? Leandros was always against you learning how to use a blade, perhaps more so than your father. He was always protective of you and felt that you would never need to worry about sticking someone with a steel as long as he was around. It took such a long time to convince him, yet you always knew that he held back, that he was never really into teaching you. I would never have been able to get this sword from you so easily, or rather, you wouldn't have dropped it so carelessly. And that would you have, and that wound you have, received from battle perhaps, one that you weren't prepared for. Were you taught properly, all those problems likely could have been avoided. I can teach you. Forget it. You have already seen how I can best you. I don't need someone like you to be my teacher. You're the last person I would ask. Give it some thought. I can tell that you and me are going to be spending a lot of time together. Based on what? Fate, I suppose. Whatever game he was playing, good night, bad night, you still had to be wary of him. This was the village that Koshiro came from. Hyosuke likely had all the same skills that Koshiro had. Deception, deceit, disappearing into the shadows. All that you wanted right now is for him to leave you be. Well, for now, you have been properly cleansed. I can no longer smell that rancid beast's scent on you. Try to keep it that way. He was probably talking about Koshiro again. Whatever problem he had with him must have run deep. Ah! Hyosuke brought the water down on you and you shivered at his touch. Thinking about it, why couldn't you have been just grabbed the water from the hot spring? I take it we're done here? Yes, you can now enjoy the waters to your pleasure. You wrapped the towel back around yourself and scurried to the water's edge, oblivious that it was becoming a little bit wet. You tested the water with a single toe, then retracted it. The temperature was certainly hot. You walked in slowly, easing your body down further into the water, allowing yourself to be accustomed to the heat. Before you went fully under, you put your towel off to the side and sunk in deep. Your skin prickled, your arms and legs felt limp, and the aches and pains in your back, feet, and limbs melted away. I think you'll find the natural hot springs to be unlike any other in the world. It helps to heal and rejuvenate the body and soul. He was nearly ready to unravel himself to join you when the door leading back in slammed open. Hyosuke, your job here is done. A shadow stood at the doorway, his eyes orange like a harvest moon. You recognized the sound of the voice, but couldn't quite put a finger on it. Hyosuke seemed to notice right away as his face turned sour. I thought you were forbidding from coming in here, Gaijin. Oh, shit! Hyosuke turned slowly as the mysterious person came forth. He too wore a decorated mask like many of those you saw in the village, but it was different. While the others were stylized to look like wolves, his almost looked more like a fox in a way, though the horns gave him a more demonic-like appearance. He ignored Hyosuke and stared at you. Jake! Shivers shot down your spine when he said your name. How did he know your name? You never revealed it to anyone in this village, and you were sure he wasn't just guessing. As far as you could tell, only the village elders seemed to know you were there. But that was just a guess based on his reaction to seeing you. There was only one person you could guess who it was. Koshiro! Jake, huh? So that is your name. Was wondering when you were going to tell me. You know, it is quite rude considering you know mine. You never asked. Jake. Where have I heard that name before? You're the prince, or I should say king now. And? So what if I am? Well, it changes many things. You should have said something. Are you saying you would have believed me? Considering how terrible of a liar you are, I likely might have. If I had known about this, I would have bowed before you, too. Somehow I doubt that. No, truly, you are the king. Why, there is no greater honor in our villages to give up our lives to protect you. It is why we are born. It is why we fight. His words were dripping with sarcasm. It honestly made no difference to him that you were king. Jake! The masked beastman started towards you, but Hyosuke blocked his path, sauntering forth like a thug. The both stopped with just a few feet between the two of them and began to size each other up. Hyosuke was clearly larger, his muscles easily thicker than Koshiro's, and he had a good foot and a half of height over him as well. If you didn't know either of them, you would have easily bet your money on Hyosuke, but Koshiro was the one you were rooting for. Move. Is that all you have to say to me after all these years? Come now, Koshiro, I thought we were friends. Don't joke around. You are no friend of mine. Now move. I've come to retrieve Jake. Let me guess, by order of the Elder? And did he mention anything about me? You are to return to your previous post outside the South Gate. Of course. I suppose you're always his favorite dog, trusting a gaijin like you. Well, this is one order that I cannot follow. What? The king was supposed to be under protection, wasn't he? Yet the entire village knows how that turned out. And now the king's only son is here in our village, and you are once again trusted with his care. You've already failed once already. What's to say you won't fail again? Those words must have hit Koshiro hard as he stared over at you with fearful eyes. Even though you had talked to him about it, and he had wanted to make it up to you, it was always going to haunt him. So, Neil, you crack this baby open? Oh yeah. Oh, blood orange. I can't wait to taste that. He turned to the ground, unable to even look at Hyosuke, who only pressed the advantage. Ever since you came to this village, you have brought nothing but misfortune among us all. Your very existence is like a plague on the world. You have been given your orders. Huh? What was that? Does the gaijin have something to say? Koshiro's arms and hands shook. How a mutt like you have managed to survive this long? You should have died off along with your clan. Quiet! Yet here you are, still believing you are wanted, that you have a place in this village. You have no one, and you will never be accepted. Once Koshiro dies, there will be no one around to save you. You'll die in a ditch, lonely and forgotten. But don't worry. I'll do my best to remember you. I'll visit that hole in the ground that will soon be your grave every day. Just so I can spit on it! Hyosuke was going too far. This was no longer just a case of bad blood nor a simple grudge. Hyosuke's feelings towards Koshiro couldn't even be summed up in words. Regardless of whatever Koshiro might have done, it couldn't have been bad enough to deserve this. You balled your fist, stood up, and started forward. Enough was enough. King or not, you would make Hyosuke stop. Demare! Koshiro exploded with such ferocity you stopped in your tracks. Even Hyosuke, with how tough he was acting just moments earlier, fell back a bit. His tail bristled, his breathing exacerbated, his eyes were filled with fury. Never before had he seen such fire in his eyes, expressing such utter contempt. The normally quiet and reserved fox looked like a bomb with a short fuse. You! His hands were twitching, almost reaching behind his back where you knew a blade was hidden. But he stopped himself, closed his eyes, and took a deep breath. You may be right. Perhaps I do bring disaster and misfortune wherever I go. Maybe I don't have anyone to watch my back or a place I can call my own. But I will never fail Jake again. Not as long as I live. Such wishful thinking. It is not wishful thinking! He finally pulled his head up and looked you right in the eye. He felt your heart stop. All the anger, pain, sadness that you saw in there just seconds before was gone. I made a promise to him that I would never fail again. That he would return home and no more harm would come to him. I won't die before his enemies do. I am a Kingsguard, and seeing to his safety is the only reason I continue to breathe. Failure isn't an option to me anymore. I have known no other desire than to keep him safe, and I won't let you take that away from me. It seemed as though Hyosuke was at a loss for words. Now you have no other business being here and have been given your orders. I think it's time you left, unless you prefer that the Elder gets involved again. Always hiding behind his back like the spineless fox you are. That senile old man ever chose to save your life, I will never know. Hyosuke walked towards the door, making sure to cross paths with Koshiro and bump shoulders. He stopped only for a moment, likely whispering something into the fox's ear. Lilpine's eyes went thin for a moment, and he gritted his teeth. His fist balled, and he stood there suddenly looking defeated. Hyosuke glanced back at you, and you could tell that he was likely taunting him again. It seemed as though the wolf never ran out of things to say. He vanished through the exit and didn't turn back once. Both you and Koshiro kept your eyes on the door for several moments, yet no one came out. He seemed like he was really gone for good this time. Koshiro still seemed strung up, like a fired cannon with a lodged shot. It was a delicate situation. You didn't want to upset him any more than he clearly was. But you had to say something, especially after that speech he just made. Hey, Koshiro? You gulped. Koshiro? You moved a bit closer, being careful not to startle him, but instead you ended up stubbing your toe and splashing around as you tried to find your balance. The noise was enough of a wake-up call. He whipped around with a dagger in hand, ready to defend himself if need be. Jake! You were caught staring at his weapon. I'm sorry. Like an illusionist, he flicked his hands in a single motion, the dagger disappeared. I hope you are doing all right. Yeah. You aren't hurt, are you? Just have a couple of bruises, but they'll heal. And you're back? Your wound didn't open back up, I hope. Well, it doesn't seem to hurt as much anymore, and Hyosuke didn't seem to notice anything strange about it. I see. That's good, then. Koshiro's face was still concealed behind that creepy mask, but you could tell just how relieved he was to see you. It begged the question why he was still wearing it, though. The guards at the gate, the beastmen who also concealed themselves in shadows and skipped along the rooftops, and even a few of the villages all donned one as well. Even Hyosuke wore one just before he abducted you. It also almost reminded you of a masquerade. The intrigue of wondering who was hiding behind that mask was always a favorite pastime among the wealthy. Was he trying to conceal his identity? Maybe he received a wound that he didn't want others to see. If the case was later, then perhaps it was better to just leave it be. Well, at least you still look to be in top form. Beastmen really have hardy bodies, kind of makes me jealous. It's not something I'm proud of. The fact that I came out of all this unscathed while you were injured still haunts me. I understand where you're coming from, but you have to understand that I might have been in an even worse position had you not been there for me. Besides, how are you going to take care of me if you get injured? You have a half-broken Kingsguard watching over me, right? As long as I'm alive, that's good enough for now. We tried to laugh it off, but he didn't seem to be in a cheerful mood. Though that was nothing new. Anyway, thank you. You really helped me. You really helped get me out of a bind there. You wouldn't have been in that mess if I had hurried to your side the minute I learned of your arrival. It's a big village. I don't imagine you would have been able to find me so easily. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!